What's going on, YouTube world and YouTube tribe? Welcome back to LilBigMan Gaming, bringing you another review, as the video says, Watchdogs Legions. Let me get a perfect little picture of it. There we go. Watchdogs Legions. Thank you for everybody who's here joining the channel. The game sucks. Bye. No, just I'm not about to do that. I don't know where to begin. The set is take place in London. I honestly couldn't tell you how many years this takes place after because I never played, or I played the second one, but I didn't. I stopped halfway through it. I stopped, not even halfway. I probably stopped like maybe a good 30 minutes to an hour into the second one, and never went back and finished it. And I always kept saying during my playthrough of Watchdogs Legions that I was going to go and replay it again, and just give my and replay part two to probably try to see if I can finish it. But having said all that, Watchdogs Legions pretty much takes place in London, where a secret group called the 0 Day. I almost forgot. I was about to say 1 day, 2 day. 0 Day is a secret group that held frames the their name escapes me. I cannot remember what the watchdog group called themselves. Oh man. I'm trying to see without trying to play the game again what the group was called. God, I'm just gonna call them the Resistance because I can't remember what they were called, but yeah. Help me out in the comments down below what the actual name was. But you play as you don't have a main protagonist. You play as pretty much anybody. Everybody in London could be a playable character, pretty much. That's what the main theme of Legion is, that you're not playing as one central protagonist. You're playing as multiple protagonists, because everybody, the Resistance is basically everybody in London who was opposed of these different evil groups that like Bloody Mary and Albany and all this type of stuff. You got these you got these different groups of people that's trying to take over London, and they got their all nefarious means or whatnot, or what forth, or what have you. But yeah, you play as this guy who's on this mission to stop these bombs. You can find out the people behind the bombs is 0 Day, and they set this explosion off, which set the events of the game into motion, which puts London on lockdown. London is pretty much now on lockdown, and the police group that helps with this lockdown, they're pretty much terrorists in their own right, and they're terrorizing the London people. The girl who was working with the good guys, with the Resistance, she goes into hiding after the explosion, but she restarts the group again to to basically take back the city from 0 Day and the rest of the evil guys. And that's pretty much where their adventure begins. You go from mission to mission, and to uncover the truth about what happened on that day, who is 0 Day, and why the events of that game is happening. Now, one thing I have to say is that you don't have to play Watchdogs Legions. At least in my opinion, you could correct me if I'm wrong in the comments down below. But in my opinion, Watchdogs Legions, you don't need to play the first 2 games, because this is not a standalone. It's not a standalone game in a sense, but it doesn't really connect to like the first 2 games, and that, if that makes sense. So you don't really have to play the first 2 games, but if you do, you understand the overall complexity of the game. With that being said, I had me and Strapped Up. Me and Strapped Up both played this game. Strapped Up made it through a couple of parts of the game and quit playing it because he thought this game. He said this game sucked. It was not like the first Watchdogs game. And you don't know who I'm talking about. Strapped Up is the guy I play Call of Duty with along with Dub. And Dub was on the fence. He wanted to know if it was worth playing because he might want to play it too. But then once Strap played it, in his opinion, he was like, no, I couldn't. It was so horrible, I couldn't play it. I was like, it's not that bad. I felt like the story was better than part 2's, but not better than part 1. But that feeling of it was better than part 2's allowed me to play from beginning to end. And not having played it from beginning to end, I understand why people said it sucked and why people gave it the ratings they gave it. And I also understand why some people, not a lot, but some people do like the game. One of the negatives, I would say is a lot of negatives than positives. One of the negatives is the driving. The driving in the game is horrendous. The driving in the first game, and even so in the second game, from what I can remember about the second game, the driving in both the first 2 games were way better than the driving in part 3. I don't know what they was doing. I don't know if this was it says Ubisoft, so I'm assuming it was still made by the same people who made the first 2 games. But I don't know what they was thinking. But in my opinion, they messed up the driving mechanics horribly. Like driving a motorcycle was way better than driving a car because the handling of the motorcycle was way better. But both aspects was horrible. Like driving any type of vehicle in Watchdogs Legion was horrible. Other gameplay aspects that was horrible was the hacking. I felt like there was no, like, you could honestly, and you can even ask in the comments to Strap, and I will have Strap I would have Strap tell you. Even with that, there was the hacking in this game was non-existent. Like, you really didn't need to hack for real. And that's the whole point of Watchdogs was to hack and be able to hack people and be able to hack this and be able to hack that. Like, one of the elements that they took away from this game that you couldn't hack people no more. Like, in the first game, you could hack people and steal their money or do this or do that. You couldn't do this in this game. The only thing close to it is when you can still like tap onto people, but it's only to recruit them or see if they're recruitable. And you couldn't, and some people you could recruit, but it wouldn't do nothing for the you wouldn't do nothing for Watchdogs or for the Resistance. It wouldn't do nothing for them. Jesus Christ. It's bugging me what their name is that I can't say. So I'm gonna take a minute to figure out who the hell is the people that you play as. Cause I swear I'm going to lose it if I don't say their names right in this video. Oh yeah, you still have the CTOS. Dead Set. That's what they name. So Dead Set, just like in the first game, that's who you still working with them. But Dead Set is now made up in the London section. They like, you find out in this game that Dead Set has this London, like, it's got these groups at different parts of the world. And in London, Dead Set is not made of like a person that's like your main protagonist. It's made of just anybody you can recruit to Dead Set. And but like I said, the hacking thing was when you was at when Aiden Pierce, you were just able to hack people. It emphasized hacking. That was like the main thing of Watchdogs, was that it emphasized hacking, right? Like you could hack people, hack cars, you could hack the traffic, like you could hack this, you could hack that. You can have to, bake machines. That really doesn't, like, you can still do some of that in Watchdogs Legion, but it wasn't an emphasis on it. Like, if you're good enough, you can really get through the game without hacking if you're good enough. Because playing the game from beginning to end, you really don't need hacking to get through it. You need hacking for certain things, but then certain things get repetitive. Like, and Doug would say, "What isn't every game repetitive?" Yes, but in this regard, repetitive for Watchdogs Legion was lazy. There are certain missions have you going to the same place about 3 or 4 times for different things, hacking the same thing for different people. It was no creativity, like they spent so much time and emphasis on the whole recruiting people, making everybody lively and have their own unique facial structure. Like they spent so much time on that, the gameplay fell to the wayside, and unfortunately hacking did too. Wow, yeah, hacking is awful, or it's not. You really don't need it. Like in that sense, like you don't need the hack. Driving was awful. The story was okay. I wouldn't say it was the greatest story. I wouldn't say it was the best story, but it was okay enough for me to get through it. At times it just felt dull, and at times I did want to stop, but then I did want to see why, what's going on with Clan Kelly, Albion, and all, Zero Day, and all the rest of the guys, right? I'm trying to see who was I love Bagsley, Bagley, hit the little AI dude that helped you. He was like one of the pluses of the game. I love Bagsley. I love I love his little tongue-in-cheek stuff. And it was some moments in the game that made me go, oh shit, like, okay, that was good. Like, okay, it's getting good. It does. There's moments in the game, if you could get to them, if you could stomach it. There's moments in the game where you'd be like, oh shit. Okay, leading up to this was kind of, but okay. Huh? Okay. I don't do that. But yeah, it was like I was just like, okay. Holy shit, that was good. That was real good. That was questionable. They even had a moment where it questions what you would do. To me, at least, it was a morale. Like, if you had the brains to save your mother from death, but she, your mother wants to just, go ahead and pass on and move on to heaven, or whatever your belief is. It begs the question: if you got the smarts to know how to save her consciousness and put it into a computer so she can live on as a computer, would you do it to keep your parents living with you so that you won't be living without them, or your loved one or whoever? It does have that morale question in there, and that was a good part. That to me was good, because it made you wonder: was she truly evil, or was she truly just a woman that was just hurting not to lose her mother? Trying to do even against her mother's wishes, was just trying to keep her mother alive. But yeah, the story, all the end was good. Everything was good. It just felt dull, without the hacking, without the true aspects of what Watchdog is. It made, even with the holy shit parts, it just made it just more of, it made it go from holy shit to oh okay, now I'm back. It did have me up here, but now I'm back here. Yeah, the combat was okay, if not a little wonky, at times. I mean, wow, I really want to say I enjoyed this game. I really did. I really didn't enjoy it as much as I wanted to, I should say, and that even the revelation at by the time you get to the end, the revelation of who was behind Zero Day. By the time you get to the end, you probably, if you're smart enough, you figure out who it was, and if you're not, I want to say smart enough, that's the wrong word. If you pay attention to the story, you know by that point you know who the villain was, who was behind Zero Day, because Zero Day is pretty much controlling Armin, Khan, Kelly, all of them. They had it in workers, and you find out who was doing it. You know, that person's master plan was that they was using DedSec, to do this and to do that because the world needs to be cleansed and all that type of stuff. And even with that, even the revelation when you confront the person, it's not even a boss battle. You don't even have a boss battle with that person. It's just a whole cutscene, and then the person is killed within the cutscene, and then that's pretty much it. You save the day, and if you haven't completed all the side missions and stuff, there's still stuff to clean up in the city. But that's pretty much it. Once you get to that point, that's pretty much it. I don't know. Yeah. If I were to give Watchdog a grade, wow, I never thought I would do a review on Watchdog and say this, but I would give Watchdogs Legions 5 big ups. 5 big ups. And what 5 big ups mean, it means that in my rating, 5 is like okay. 6 is good. 7 is okayly good, or 7 is still kind of good, but borderline on great. And, anything. But I say 7. I say 8 to 10. Anything from 8 to 10 is good to great. 10 being perfect great. Perfect, amazing game. This gets a 5. Watchdogs Legion gets a 5 just because even with its holy shit moments, it just wasn't a good game. It really could have been better if they took their time. Just like with Cyberpunk, if you take your time to put your heart and soul into it, your game would benefit from it. And this game did not benefit because people cut corners. It felt like they cut corners, and this game was not good. It was good enough for me to get through the story, but it could have been way better than that. Watchdog is one of those big AAA games that should be a 9 or a perfect 10. But in the end, this game really wasn't a perfect 10. It was more of a just, yeah. I said just a 9. I mean, it could have been a 5. It could have been a 9. It could have been a 10, but it was just a 5. And it was just overall because I just didn't. Once I look back, and the reason why I say that too, my last thing I'm going to say before I end this video is that the reason why I gave it a 5 is because looking back, if I had to, I wouldn't play this. I like to replay my games. I don't even want to go play the online version of this. I would not. This is one game I wouldn't replay. Like honestly, if somebody was like, "Hey, I never played Watchdogs Legion," like if one of my friends or family was just like, "You got it on the X?" Yeah, take it. I don't care. Are you sure? I know it's okay. Yeah, take it. I don't care. Don't ask me about the game. Like, cause I don't enjoy it. I don't really enjoy the game like that. Like, to play it again. Like Resident Evil, I could play Resident Evil multiple times and still enjoy it. I would not do that. The next Ubisoft game I would be playing would be Far Cry 6. I would not be playing Watchdogs Legion. But that's it. That's all I got. But if you want to enjoy it, maybe you want the people who like it, hit this button right here in the upper right corner for all of my Watchdogs Legion videos. And hit this button right here if you like this video and you like this discussion. Hit this button right here in the lower right corner to support the channel by subscribing. Or kill that like button, or do both. Or hit any one of these videos for more amazing content. But stay tuned. I'm not done for the day. I got at least 2 videos for Spider-Man coming out your way. So, peace out.